all buildings hold stories in them, and continuing the thread of their storytelling is one of the things I am most interested in as an architect. Today I've got a building for you that was sent to me by a viewer when it came on the market. It's a 19th century Coast Guard signal station, meaning its sole purpose was to focus views out to the sea around it and provide shelter to those whose job it was to monitor these waters. So we're going to have some fun with this one. The building is located alone on a rocky cliff top with very little around it, though with the benefit of its own well water supply. It's a pretty basic structure, built from brick and with a flat roof and a couple of chimneys. Its form is entirely functional. On the cliffside though, it has this really sort of quaint domestic looking bay window, which was presumably the main viewing point for the Coast Guard. This is clearly an extraordinary location with some beautiful views, but the building itself is not much to look at. So the obvious architectural response would be to demolish what's there and start again. But I can't help but think about that bay window and how many people have stood at it to look at a completely unchanged view over the last 200 years. So the challenge I have is to try and keep this story going by holding onto the building. But I also want to do the site justice by creating a really modern clifftop house. So I'm going to show you how we've done this. If you're new here, my name's Gemma, I'm an architect, and this channel is where I share my design process for remodeling tricky existing buildings. I work with clients worldwide to consult on their design problems, and I'll soon be launching my course on how to design like an architect. So you can head to my website here to sign up for updates on that. So this is the floor plan we're starting with. It's a basic rectangle with this bay on the cliffside, and at about 52 square meters, it's not exactly huge. There's a very rough circle of walls surrounding the site, presumably to stop anyone tumbling down the cliff at night. And what that creates is an area around the building where you get the full force of this view on 3 sides. Now, if we're going to the effort of creating a unique bespoke structure up here, we want it to be incredible. So just using this structure and extending off it in a traditional way is not an option. Instead, this old structure has to become a benefit rather than a burden, while still holding on to its character. The one thing you don't usually get in these luxury modern clifftop houses is a garden, because it'd get so windy you could only really use it on really calm days, and the space isn't necessarily available either. So that thought led us to the idea of flipping this building inside out. With the roof off and the walls remaining, you can still walk around this old shell of a building, looking out through this bay window to continue that thread of Coast Guard history. But making this an internal courtyard instead means you also get a lovely sheltered outdoor space where you can have a fire while looking out over the sea. So we decided to encase this old structure inside a modern floating glass box that sits in total contrast to it, but holds the historical form at its heart. So you arrive at the building at the back here and go straight into the old signal station. This entrance area is dark and enclosed, but that focuses your vision even more down to that end bay that you can see straight ahead. There's an area here to hang your coats, leave your shoes, and maybe this is a small utility area as well, particularly if this is only a weekend residence. Opposite is a WC, and it also has some more storage in it, maybe for linen and cleaning items. Back into the entrance hall, and you're met with a large glazed wall that slides open onto an internal courtyard. You're sheltered from the wind here, so you could have a fire in the evening and sit around with friends under what are probably some really dark skies. The old window and door openings of the signal station remain in situ, and you get glimpses into rooms that were once views outside but have now been reversed. And through that bay window at the end, the same view that's been framed this way for 200 years is unchanged and still visible. Taking you back to the entrance, you head through a door here to the side and enter this glass box which provides maximum views and a full immersion into the surroundings. This is the second bedroom, and you can see one of those courtyard windows gives you a contrast in external views from each direction. There's a wardrobe here at the end. And then this is the ensuite. Back across the hall and you enter the other side of the glass box, which brings you into the kitchen. An external terrace wraps around on two sides and provides an area for eating outside when you catch that calm weather. To keep the glazed wall uninterrupted, the kitchen runs along the interior wall. And another old window gives you a glimpse back into the courtyard. The dining table then enjoys the cantilevered corner view and a chance to look at the stars. The main living area then sits in front of that bay window with unobstructed views. And you can walk back into the courtyard here. And then if you carry on through past the bay, you come through to the master bedroom. Now there's one more area to show you, but before I do, I want to quickly touch on something that I've learned about more recently. The more time I spend online, whether it's making videos, shopping, or just signing up for everyday stuff, the more I've realized just how much of my personal information is out there, being collected and sold by these companies I'd never even heard of called data brokers. That's why I started using a service called Incogni, because honestly, the whole thing spooked me a bit. These data brokers build really detailed profiles on us. Your name, phone number, address, email, even little things like your interests or shopping habits. And then they sell that onto advertisers, telemarketers, or worst case, people you'd really rather didn't have that kind of access. It actually explains a lot, like why I get spam calls and those ads that feel like they're reading my mind. That is my data being passed around. Now you can try to clean up your data yourself, but I had a look and it's a nightmare. Incogni basically does all that for you. You sign up once, give them permission, and they go off and contact these brokers to remove your data. They even keep checking back so it stays gone. It just runs quietly in the background and I can check in on it every now and again to see what it's caught. So if you want to do the same, use the link in the description and my code incogni.com/Gemma Wheeler to get an exclusive 60% off an annual plan with Incogni. From the terrace, you can head outside and down these hidden steps that take you lower on the cliff, where you reach another small terrace. And heading further down still, you come to another glass box where you can sit in a sauna and look out at the view. Or soak in the plunge pool behind it. All these videos come from buildings that you send me. Sometimes they're client projects, often they're not. I love to see your ideas for difficult spaces, so please do keep sending them. And it'd be great to do some more apartments. So if you see or know any awkward apartments you think I could transform, drop them to me via my website. And sign up for my course while you're at it so you can learn my specific method for how to design like an architect. If you're new here and enjoyed this, you'll find plenty more to enjoy on the channel. Thanks for being here and see you soon.